See, in the last class, we saw about insertion sorting. I told you that insertion sorting is similar to the way how you play your cards. Always in your array, you can divide your array into two things. One is sorted array and the other is unsorted array. So you can consider this. I am considering this is my entire array. At any point of time, you can imagine the array as sorted array and then unsorted array. So whatever you have in the sorted array, all these elements are sorted in their correct, they are in the correct position with respect to this particular array. But the elements in the unsorted array are nothing but similar to the cards which are placed on the table. But elements in the sorted array are nothing but they are similar to the cards which you have in your left hand. Okay. So now with that we will see what is the problem we have in the insertion sort. Now, I want to place this card 6 in the correct position. First, what I will be doing is, I will compare this 6 with 33. Okay, so if you see, first I will compare 6 with 33. Then, since 6 is less than 33, I will move 33 to this position. Okay, by the time 6 will be placed in a temporary variable called item that we saw in the yesterday's class, 6 will be in my hand, that is, it will be in the variable item. Okay, so this position is free now. I will move 33 to the position of 6. Then what I will do after this, I will compare this 6 with 22. Okay, 22 is greater than 6. So I will move 22 to the position of 33. This 33 position is free because 33 has been moved to this particular position. Next, I will compare, sorry, two arrows are shown. I will compare 6 with 18. Okay, 6 is less than 18. So what I will do, I will move 18 to the position of 22. Then I will compare 6 with 12. Okay, 6 is less than 12. So I will move 6 to the position of 18. Sorry, 12 to the position of 18. Now the position of 12 is free. Okay, because 12 has been moved to the position of 18. Next, you will compare 6 with 5. We don't want to move because 6 is greater than 5. So now we will identify that this 6 should be placed in the position of 12. Okay, so now 6 will be inserted in the correct position. So if you see after this particular array which is shown in the blue color is sorted, okay, with respect to those elements. And then these are unsorted array, nothing but the cards on your table. Okay, now can anyone tell me how many comparisons and movements are required to place 6 in its correct position? How many comparisons we did
Four.
totally? 4 comparisons. And also we did 4 movements. First we did comparison. Then if the number is greater, we moved it. Okay, 4 comparisons and 4 movements are required to move 6 to its correct position. Okay, suppose in the same diagram, if I move 4 to its correct position, what is the correct position of 4? Can anyone tell me where 4 will come? It will come before.
At first,
So it
before
should be
In the starting, ma'am.
starting before 5. So first you will be comparing 4 with this, whatever number will be available at this index, 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 comparisons will be done and 8 movements will be done for bringing 4 to its current position. Okay, so we have this problem. Why we have this problem is if your smaller number appear at the end of the array, like 4, large number of comparisons and movements are required to bring that number to its particular position. Okay, why we have this problem is every time you can see here, first I am comparing this 6 with 33. Okay, next time I am comparing 6 with 22. Okay, every time I am comparing with one element to which is apart, far away from one position only. Okay, that is first I am comparing with 33. The index of this is 4. Then I am comparing with 22. The index of that is 3. Every time I am decrementing the index 1 by 1 and then I am comparing. Because of this only, since I am comparing every element with its neighbor, that is adjacent element, I am doing so many comparisons. Now my aim is, if I want to do sorting efficiently, I have to reduce the number of comparisons and number of movements. Okay, for that only, they came up with a new sorting technique known as shell sort. Okay, now let me once again tell you what is the problem with insertion sort. Every time we are comparing one element with its immediate predecessor. That is the before element, immediate element which appear before. So because of that, if a smaller number appears at the end of the array, large number of comparisons and large number of movements will be required to bring that number to the correct position. Our aim is we want to reduce the number of comparisons and number of movements. For that only, we are going for the next sorting known as shell sort. Okay. Hope you understand this, why we are going for shell sort. Okay. Now let us see what is shell sort. In insertion sort, we compare every element with its immediate neighbor and move the elements by one position. Okay, when a smaller element is at the right end of the list, many movements are involved to move the element to the correct position, whatever I told you just now. Then, to overcome the above issue, we have a new sorting known as shell sort. Okay, and this shell sort allows us to exchange for items. Previously, we exchanged only the neighbors, okay, that is which are at one position apart. But now we are going to exchange for items. The distance between two elements we are going to exchange will be more, okay. And we can say that this shell sort is a generalization of insertion sort. What is the meaning is, in shell sort, we are going to compare elements which are far away from each other. That distance you can choose. Okay, I will explain in the next slide. At one stage, shell sort will behave like insertion sort only. That's why they say shell sort is generalization of insertion sort. Now let us see what is this. Let us see the idea behind the shell sort. So the idea behind the shell sort is, in insertion sort, suppose if I want to compare this 6, can anyone tell me this 6 I want to insert in the position? To which element you will compare this 6 in the insertion sort? First,
22.
22. Actually, these numbers are not sorted. Assume that I want to take 6. I have to compare 6 with 22. That is, the gap between 6 and 22 is 1. Okay. But here, in case of shell sort, you can select this gap. Okay. This gap you can set to any value. Based upon that, your algorithm will be changing its performance. Now, in this diagram, I am first considering 6. I am going to consider this 6. I am going to compare it with 55. Okay. Now, if you see the gap between 6 and 55, the gap is 1 element, 2 element, 3 element, 4 elements. So the gap is 4. Okay. Now, if I compare 6 with 55, since 6 is less than 55, I will bring 6 from this position to the first position. Then I will bring 55 from this position to the position of 6. Now, in how many comparisons 6 has been moved to the first position is in one comparison. But if you go for insertion sort, you have to do 4 comparisons to bring 6 to that particular position. But now, in one comparison, we are bringing 6 to the first position. Okay, that means when your smaller number is appearing at the end of the list, few comparisons will be taken to bring the number to the correct position. Okay, that is the reason they go for the shell sort. Okay, here very important thing in shell sort is this particular gap. Okay, so now how to choose this gap? Okay, the efficiency of the shell sort depends only upon the gap value. Okay, if you don't choose the gap efficiently, again this algorithm may not work fine. Okay, so there are many methods to choose the sequence of the gap values. We will not choose the gap as always 4. We will choose some value, and every time we are going to change that value. Okay, so we will have a sequence of gap values. To generate that, there are many methods available. Okay, let us consider the most popular method. So the most popular method to select the gap sequences, let us assume that our array to be sorted contains n elements. First, you will set the gap as floor of n by 2. Okay, what is the meaning of floor of n by 2 is, suppose my n is 10, I will divide 10 by 2, I will get 5. Okay, so floor of 5 will be 5 only. Suppose if my n is 9, I will divide 9 by 2, I will get 4.5. Floor of 5 means you have to drop the decimal point. So floor of 4.5 will be 4 only. Okay, so first you are going to set the initial gap as floor of n by 2. After that, you are going to do many passes. Okay, in every pass, you are going to update this gap value. You are not going to choose the same gap for the entire algorithm. You are going to change the gap in every pass. So in every pass, you have to consider the gap as previous gap value divided by 2. Okay, this is a formula to update the gap value. So previous gap divided by 2. Okay, and you will continue this process until the gap becomes 1. Okay, if the gap is greater than or equal to 1, you will continue. At one particular stage, the gap will become 0. Okay, when it is becoming 0, you will stop the process. Okay, so if the gap is 1, this is a special case. Sometimes if your gap is 1, in that case, the shell sort will behave like insertion sort. What is the meaning of gap is equal to 1 is every element you are comparing with only the preceding element. So that is nothing but our insertion sort. Okay, that's why we say shell sort is generalization of insertion sort. Okay, so now what is the formula for our gap sequences? If n is nothing number of elements in your array, first you will have n by 2, then you will divide by n by 4, that is nothing but previous n by 2 divided by 2, that is n by 4, then n by 4 divided by 2, that is nothing but n by 8. Likewise, you will proceed. At one particular number of elements in your array as 10, your gap value will be set to 5, 2, and then 1. Then you will stop your algorithm. Okay, hope you understood the gap value. Now let us go to some example. Okay, now let me come to the algorithm later. First, we'll see the example so that you will understand. Actually, forget about the second this diagram. Concentrate only on this. Okay, I'm adding animation, so it is taking time. Some mistake happens in the middle. Okay, sort the following elements using shell sort. Okay, now I am going to store the elements only in the array. Initially, I'm going to consider that my array has 10 elements. So the index of the elements will be from 0 up to 9. Okay, now these are all my elements. Okay, I have totally 10 elements which are stored in the array. Okay, now first tell me the gap value. Any one of you tell me the gap value now.
5.
5. Okay, so now what you have to do is, since your gap value is 5, you can see here n is 10. So gap is nothing but floor of 10 by 2, it is 5. Okay, now what I will be doing is, I will be setting my pointer, one of my pointer in A of 5. Why I am setting in A of 5 is, the gap value is 5. Okay, set one pointer to A of 5. That is, I am setting the pointer here. Where you will set the next pointer is, whatever is this index, subtract the gap from that. Okay, index is 5. If I subtract 5 from 5, I will get 0. Okay, so I have to set my second index in A of 0. Okay, try to understand, this is very, very important. Initially, you will divide n by 2. You will get the floor value. Now you will get the gap. Set one of, you will always keep track of two indices now. Okay, two elements you will keep track of. First, your first element, actually this is the second element actually. For setting the second element, okay, this is the second element and this is the first element. We will set first the second element only. Okay, for setting the second element, just take array to A of that gap value. Here gap is 5, so I am going to A of 5. Then I have to take, where is my another element? This is the first element actually. To consider the first element, from this A of 5, I will subtract the gap value. So A of 5 minus 5 is nothing but A of 0. Okay, so now I will compare A of 0. Then what I will do is, I will compare now 38 and 3. Do you need any swapping? I want to do in ascending order. Do you need any swapping or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So what you have to do is, you will now exchange this 3 and 28. Sorry, 3 and 38. Now your new array will be like this. Okay. Hope you understood up to this. Okay. If you understood this, then only you will understand the remaining. Okay. Now, after setting the indices, I will check whether I need to swap them. Here, 3 is less than 38. So I will exchange them. Okay. So they will occupy the position of other element. Now, what I will do is, I have to move the index now. This index, that is a pointer, I have to move. Where I will move? So you can see the next diagram. So previously, your a second pointer is pointing to A of 5. Now you have to make this pointer to point to A of 6. That is, move it to the right by one position. Okay, when you move this right by one position, you have to move this also right by one position. Okay, right? So I am moving from A of 5 to A of 6. So since the gap is 5, I have to move from A of 0 to A of 1. Now I need to compare this 24 and 1. Do you need swapping now? 1 is less than 24. So you have to swap. So
Yes.
yes. So after this, what will happen is I will swap these two elements. 1 will come here and 24 will go here. Okay. Can anyone tell me next which elements we are going to compare? See this diagram and tell me next which
7 and
elements?
2.
31 and 20.
Yeah, 31 and 20. Next, you have to compare 31 and 20, which are at the index 7 and 2. As somebody said, he said the index 7 and 2. Yes. So next, sorry, forget about this. Start from the beginning. So now I am here. Okay, I am going to compare 31 and 20. Now, do you need any swapping here?
No, ma'am.
No
No,
need.
ma'am.
They are in the correct position. So you will not do any swapping. Okay. Next, what you have to do is move to next position. That is from 31, you are moving to 58. Similarly, here from 20, you are moving to 55. Now compare 55 and 58. 58, this is greater than 55. So no need for any swapping. Next, what we will do is, we will move from 58 to 6. The pointer is moved here. Similarly, from 55, we will move to this 2. Now we will compare 6 with 2. Here 6 is greater than 2. So there is no need for any swapping. Next, from 6 you have to move to next position. But your array is over. Okay, there is no next position. Your array is finished. So now the first pass is over. Okay, so now we have end of pass 1. If anybody have doubt up to this, please tell me. I will stop and explain again. Because if you don't understand this, you will not understand the remaining passes. Okay,
No doubts, sir.
right. We will proceed. Now, the first pass is over. To do the second pass, I have to update the gap. Okay, so for that, I am going to write the formula now. So gap is nothing but previous gap 5 divided by 2 floor value. So 2.5 floor, it is nothing but 2. Okay, now I have to set the first pointer now. So this is my array. Okay, after the first pass, this is my array. Can anyone tell me where your first pointer will be set to which number? Gap is 2.
20.
Okay, yeah, very good. So now I will set my first, that is one pointer at 20. The next pointer I have to set at 20 minus 2. That is nothing but this 3. Okay, don't subtract the value, subtract the index. Okay, 20 is at the index 2 and 3 is at the index 0. So I have to consider these two elements. Okay, now I will check whether I need any swapping or not. No need for any swapping. So now what I will do is, I will move this pointer to next position, that is 55, and then move this pointer to next, that is 1. Okay, every time you can see we are comparing elements only with a gap of this particular value. Okay, 2 only according to this pass. Okay, now I am going to compare 55 and 1. They are in correct position, no need for any swapping. So now I will compare 20 and 2. Okay, 20 and 2, they need swapping. So what I will do is, I will move 20 to the position of 2, then I will move 2 to the position of 20. Okay, after this, remember, just to concentrate here, this is very, very important. Okay, now your gap value is 2. Okay, now here a smaller number is brought to the initial position, that is through swapping. When you do like that, you have to check the another number which is at a gap of 2 from this number in this direction. Okay, so far we don't have like that, but now only we are getting. Okay, now I am at the index here, I did the swapping. When I do the swapping, I have to compare this number with the another number at a gap of 2 in the right left direction. Okay, so I have to now compare 2 and 3. Okay, right, now I am going to compare 2 and 3. Now 2 is less than 3. Therefore, I have to swap these two. Okay, so now I will be swapping 2 and 3. Okay, why I am doing this one is previously my gap is 5, no elements were before in the swapping, but now I have, when I did the swapping, I have one element which is at the lower index when compared to this element at that particular gap. So I need to compare that also. Okay, now you have moved to here. Next, you have to check whether any other element is at a gap of 2 from this particular position in the left direction. There is no element. So you stop here. Okay, are you able to understand this? If not, when we see the next example, you will be able to understand. Okay, so now where we stopped our index in the last time, always keep track of this number, highest number. Okay, because this number will change, the index value will change. Always keep track of this highest number. We were with this position, that is position number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now you have to go to position 5. Okay, now see this one. I am going to position 5. In position 5, I have 38. I have to compare that 38 with a gap of 2. So I am comparing 38 and 55. Now I need swapping. So what I will do is I will swap 38 and 55. Okay, can anyone tell me next what we will do actually? When you do swapping, you have to compare this element with another element in the gap of 2. That is, I have to compare 38 and 1. Okay, I am comparing 38 and 1. Do you need swapping now? No need, because 38 is greater than 1. When this is greater than 1, sorry, when you are not doing any swapping, don't continue the search further in this direction. Okay, just to stop there. Okay, here why I compared 38 with the 21 is I swapped 50 and 38. Since it is coming here as a new element, I have to compare this with the previous element at a gap of 2. Okay, now here I am not swapping 1. When you don't swap, don't proceed the comparison, just stop. Okay, now this is over. Right, next time I will ask you to tell so that you will understand. Next, see, our pointer is here. Okay, next you have to move the pointer. So we will move the pointer to this 24. Okay, you are going to consider this 24 with an element at the gap of 2. Okay, 24 and 20. Right, so in this 24 is greater than 20, so no need for any swapping. So I will move the pointers. Okay, here I will compare 55 and 31. Here 31 is less than 55. So I have to do the swapping. So I am doing the swapping. When you do swapping, you have to again compare this new element 31 with an element at a gap of 2. Okay. So I am comparing 31 with 38. Now 31 is less than 38. So what I will do is I will bring 31 to the position of 38. Okay. So now I am doing this. Next, I will compare 31 with 1 because it is at a gap of 2. Now there is no need for any swapping. When there is no need for any swapping, don't proceed the comparison further. Okay, stop there. And next, come back here. Once you stop there, come back here. Now you move the pointer from this index to the next index. That is, I am going to move from 55 to 58. Okay, then I am going to consider the next pointer as 24. Right, I am going to compare these two elements, 24 and 58. Here 58 is greater than 24, so there is no need for any swapping. Okay, therefore when you don't swap, don't compare with the remaining elements here. Okay, you have to compare with the elements in the left hand direction only if you are doing any swapping. If you are not doing any swapping, our aim is we have to reduce the number of comparisons. If you are not doing any swapping, it means that you no need to go for further comparison. So just to stop it. Okay, right. Next, our pointer is here in 58. We have to move the pointer to the next element. That is, we are going to move to 6. Similarly, 6 you are going to compare with an element at a gap of 2. That is 55. Now there is a swapping required. So I am going to swap 6 and 55. Now, anyone tell me what is the next operation I have to do?
You have to compare 6 with 38.
Left hand
38.
side.
Very good, very good. So next,
38.
since I have done the swapping, I have to compare 6 with 38. Okay, so I am comparing 6 and 38. 6 is now less than 38. So I will do the swapping. So 6 is coming here, 38 is going here. So what is the next step? Since 6 is coming to a new position, I have to again compare this 6 with 31. Okay. So now I am comparing 6 with 31. 6 is less than 31. So again I have to swap. Okay. So now I have swapped 6 and 31. Next, I have to compare 6 with 1. Now there is no need for any swapping. When there is no need for any swapping, don't proceed further. Okay, just stop there. So I am comparing 6 with 1. There is no need for any swapping. Okay, so I will not proceed further. Now where I will do, when you don't proceed further, you have to go and update these pointers. Okay, so where I will update my pointer, can anyone tell me what will happen now? This 55 is the last element. So
End of pass.
very good.
Reduce it
So
to 1.
yes,
End of
this is
pass.
end of pass because you reach the last element. So it is now end of pass 2. Okay. After end of pass 2, what we have to do is we have to update the gap. Okay. So now you can see next I am going to update my gap. Okay. Gap is now 2 by 2. It is 1.
1.
So what is the meaning is you set your second pointer to the index 1 and the first pointer you have to subtract 1 from this one, that is 0. So you set as 0. So I am considering these two elements. Okay. Now, is it required for swapping? I have to check. Yes. So I have to swap these two elements. Now, after swapping, you swapped here. Since there is no element before, you stop the swapping. Okay. Now you have to update this pointer. This pointer I will bring to the next element. So it will come from 2 to 3. Now, similarly, the second pointer I will place at a gap of 1. Now I have to compare these three elements. There is no need for any swapping. If there is no need for any swapping, just increment this pointer. Okay. So now I am bringing the pointer from this 3 to 6. Similarly, the second pointer is from 2 to 3. Okay. Now I have to compare these two. There is no need for any swapping. So what I will do next, when there is no need for any swapping, just I will take the pointer to the next element. Okay. Now also there is no need for any swapping. So take the pointer to the next element. No need for any swapping. So take the pointer to the next element. Now 24 is less than 31. So what we will do is we will swap 24 and 31. So now I swapped. What is our next step? Whenever you do swapping, compare this 24 with next 20. Okay. Now 24 is greater than 20. So no need for any swapping. So when there is no need for any swapping, you have to update the pointer. Okay. So now I am going to update the pointer from this position to the next position. That is, I will move from this 31 to 38. Okay. So now this is my pointer position. Now I have to update the pointer. Okay. So I am moving from, just I am writing the same thing when I am continuing to the next slide. So I am going to move the pointer from 31 to 38. Next I have to compare 38 with 21. There is no need for any swapping. So update the pointer. Okay. So I am going to update the pointer from this position to the next position. So I have to compare 58 and 38. No need for any swapping. Update the pointer. Okay. So I am now comparing 55 and 58. There is a swapping required. So you swap 55 and 58. Sorry, I pressed mouse 2 times. You swap 55 and 58. After you swap this, you have to compare this 55 with the previous element. Okay. Now 55 is greater than the previous element. So no need for any swapping. When you don't do any swapping, you have to again change the pointer. Now my pointer is at the last index. So I cannot change it further. So your pass is over. Okay. So now end of pass 3. Then after you end the pass 3, now update the gap value. Gap is now 1 divided by 2 floor value. 1 by 2 is 0.5. When you take floor of 0.5, your gap will be 0. Okay. You have to stop your algorithm when the gap becomes less than 1. Okay. So now my gap is 0. So I have to stop my algorithm. Okay. Right. So with this, the algorithm is over. Now we are going to see the program. Let me first go to the main program. So this main program is similar to the insertion sort we have seen in the last class. So I'm not going to explain the main again because it is similar to the insertion sort. Instead of calling the function insertion sort in line number 56, I called the function shell sort. That is the only difference. Only the name of the function is changed. All the remaining are same in main. So let us not see the main. But I will tell you how many functions you have to create. As I told you yesterday, I have to create 3 functions. One for creating the array, and the second for displaying the array, third for performing the sorting operation. Okay, so now create array yesterday we saw. Display, what I am doing in this is, try to focus on the algorithm. It is very, very important. So first, you try to focus on the algorithm. We are writing the function shell sort, which is going to accept 2 arguments. The first argument is nothing but it is the array A, and then second argument is number of elements n. Okay, now let us concentrate on the body of the function. If you see the body of the function, I have written totally 3 for loops. Okay, try to understand. The first for loop is for setting the gap. Okay, the first for loop is for setting the gap. Okay, and the second for loop is for every time we are comparing 2 elements. Second for loop is for setting the index of the second element. Okay, and the third for loop is for setting the index of the first element. So we have 3 for loops now. First for loop is for setting the gap, and then second for loop is for setting the index for the second element in the comparison, and third for loop is for setting the index of the first element in the comparison. So what is our first for loop? I told you when you start the algorithm, you are going to set the gap as n by 2. Okay, so in the first for loop, the initial value is gap is equal to n by 2. And every time for the next pass, you are going to divide this gap by 2. Okay, so you can see here the third one, increment decrement, is nothing but, are you able to see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So the third element is nothing but every time you are going to decrement the divide the gap by 2. So I am writing gap is equal to gap by 2. Now, how long I will continue? That is the condition. The condition is nothing but when the for loop will be terminated. You will continue the for loop whenever gap is greater than or equal to 1. When gap is less than 1, that is when it is 0, we are going to terminate. Okay. So when gap is greater than or equal to 1, you proceed the for loop. Okay. So now in the first for loop is mainly for setting the gap. We are having the initial value as gap is equal to n by 2, and condition as till gap is greater than or equal to 1, and then updation is every time we are going to divide the gap by 2. That is previous gap is gap, that divided by 2 will become the next gap. Okay, this is the first for loop. And the second for loop is for setting the got the gap is 5. So I set the second index at array of 5. Okay, array of gap. That is my index. Okay, so now the second for loop is for setting this only. You have to set the gap initially. You calculate the gap. You set your index at a of gap. Okay, so now let us go to the slide. My God, this will take time if I go like this. Okay. Okay, so the second for loop is for setting your second element index. So your second element index is j. That first I am setting at gap. Okay, that is 5 means a of 5. Okay, then I have to increment the every time. You remember in the diagram I told you, once you are not able to do the swapping, you are going to increment the index of the second element. Okay, so I am going to increment the index of the second element by 1. So I am writing j plus plus. Till how long you will increment the index? Till you reach the end of the array. Okay, end of the array is nothing but when this j is less than n, then it is for the element taking 2 elements. Okay, here you set the index of 1 element only. That is the second element only. Now, when you do the comparison, you need 2 elements. So you have to set the index of the another element. For that only we have this for loop. Okay, so here whatever j value you have to consider another element from that j minus gap. Every time I told you, if your gap is 5, take one element which is in the left direction at the gap of 5. Okay, left direction means minus. Okay, so for that only, you are taking the second element, which is at the index k. K is nothing but this gap j value minus gap, j minus gap. Okay, so likewise, you are going to continue. Okay, so every time, if you compare this, what is your k value? What is the next value of k is whatever is the previous value of k, that minus gap. Okay, let me tell you this. This will be a little bit confusing. I will go to the slide. I will explain what is this. Okay, now you consider this particular thing. Okay, so here you consider I have swapped 31 and 55. Okay, now since I swapped 31, next I have to compare this 31 with 38. Okay, this 31 is now the k value. 38 is nothing but k minus gap. Gap is 2. Okay, for that only we are writing that particular thing. You have to continue this until you reach the end of this particular array. Okay, this particular side you reach the end, you will continue till that time. Okay, so now let us see this. So k is equal to j minus gap. Every time you are going to update this k, that is nothing but k is equal to k minus gap. How long you will update? Till you reach the end of the array in the left direction. That is nothing but till k is greater than or equal to 0, you will do this operation. When k is negative, you reach the end of the array, you stop your process. Okay, so now this is the third for loop. Now, what we are doing inside the for loop is, we are comparing the element at a of k and a of k plus gap. If a of k plus gap is greater than a of k, that means no need to do the swapping. Okay, since there is no need to do the swapping, you have to come outside this for loop. Okay, for that I am going to give break. Try to understand. You are comparing element at a of k and a of k plus gap. Okay, if a of k plus gap is greater than a of k, that means the elements are there in the correct position. So you are not going to swap. Just come outside the loop and go to the next element comparison. So I am giving break. Okay, else you need to do the swapping. What I have to swap? Just these two elements I have to swap. Okay, you remember the steps for swapping. Always when you want to do swapping, there will be 3 steps. You will take one temporary variable. Out of these two values, you will move one value to the temporary variable first. Now I am moving a of k plus gap to temp. Next, I have to, this a of k plus gap is free. So I have to move a of k to this particular a of k plus gap. And next, whatever is available in temp, that I will be storing in a of k. Okay, so now continue this step. If you run this entire algorithm, the shell sort will be over. Students, now tell me whether you understand